Ooh,
Has a cover
hello,
of
viewers.
of Norwegian Wood on it as well.
Nice to know. Oh, hello, viewers. I was
Yeah.
just cleaning my camera. How are you doing? Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. We're back after a few days. We didn't record for a week or so, did we? You got so
No,
excited about the FA Cup and going to watch Coventry, you couldn't
we're not
contain
talking
yourself.
about that, Philster.
No.
It still
Oh,
hurts.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Still hurts. But
Stuff.
it's
Yeah.
better to have loved and to have lost than to have never loved at all.
So we are here to catch up on 1993.
We are.
Only problem is I haven't caught up with very much of 1993 in the last week. I don't know whether you have.
To be fair, I haven't done a great deal. I did go against everything in my being, and I listened to Mariah Carey's Music Box.
My goodness.
It was. I remember it at the time. Obviously, you have to excuse me. My light's really dim. Do I look dim? I mean, I look dim, but does my lighting look dim?
It looks,
Or do I look right?
you've got a little sort of flare of lighting above your head just coming down.
That's my halo, Phil, as
Not,
you should
no,
well know.
it's a straight line, this one. I don't know. Are you
Yes,
overlit,
it's
underlit?
gleaming off my halo.
I can't work out whether I'm overlit or underlit. Do I look a bit shiny? Is there a bit of a shine coming
No, you
from
look more
here?
lit. You look more lit than I do. How many other YouTube channels start recording and then wonder, have we got the lighting right?
It's a Phil and Ben show. What else do you expect?
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's
But
the
no, I
way
listened to
we
Mariah Carey's Music
roll.
Box. It is. We are ill prepared, ill thought out, and well, and
Now,
also it probably doesn't help. I had a haircut today, dude, and they cut too much hair off. Look how short it is.
I remember Mariah Carey's first record. I think it was her first single, "Vision of Love." Remember that one? I remember that one. I
No,
also
sounds
remember her.
awful.
I remember her doing the Christmas song, and I remember her doing a version of "Without You" by Nilsson. I can't think of
That's
any
off of
other.
Music Box.
Is it? I
That's
can't
track
think of
2 off
any
of
other
Music Box. Yeah.
songs. I mean, I didn't
She
pay
did that.
attention to
Dream
any of
lover,
it.
come rescue me. That one. Do you remember
Don't
that?
know that one. Don't know that one. No, I didn't pay
Ah.
any attention to any of the albums, so I have no idea what was it. Was it a music box of delights,
There
or did
is
it
a
scar your
track on
ears
that
forever?
there is a track on it called Music Box, and it does have that sort of tinkle tinkle of Music Box. I probably won't ever listen to this album again. I remember listening to it at the time, but it's very it's the Taylor Swift of its time, well produced pop, isn't it? It's sort of yeah, she was sort of the Caucasian answer to Whitney Houston, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. It was about the vocals, wasn't it? Primarily, that's what it was really about, wasn't it? But,
yeah, and you can't argue she has got a great voice, and I don't mind this sort of period of Mariah Carey. Like I said, I probably wouldn't listen to this album again if it came on, or but yeah, it's well produced pop music. It didn't inspire me in any way. It didn't make me want to pick up a chainsaw and walk into an off license. It was just there. It existed. But some people might love it, Phil.
well, I know people who did love it, but on the other end of the spectrum, you also delved into. Well, they were called Verve then, weren't they? The Verve. They
They
were
were,
called
yes,
Verve,
yeah.
and that's the
I
first
delved into
album,
that.
"Storm in Heaven."
Yes. Now, I've never listened to it before, and you want me to tell you why?
Go on.
Well, I'm going to. Because a lot of bands that you kind of get into a little bit late, like I quite like Snow Patrol, got into them late, and I've never really listened to their first couple of albums before The Final Straw because I just have this thing in my head that they're going to be rubbish. You know, like early episodes of The Simpsons where they hadn't quite got the animation where it needed to be. Homer looks a little bit off. They all look a bit pointy. Well, that's where I am with things like Pablo Honey, this Verve album, music for Polar Bears or whatever it was, the Snow Patrol album. I literally came into the Verve at 1997. Lucky Man, Bittersweet Symphony. And I couldn't bring myself to, because I just thought it was going to be rubbish. And you know what, Phil? It wasn't. It was.
No, it's not.
It was probably one of the best albums I've listened to in a long time. And there's one of the tracks which I point out to you was very, very much Oasis's Bon Jovi song "Fading Out," which is a great track. But one of the songs on there, you can see where the influence is from. I can't remember what the track's called.
You're not suggesting that Noel Gallagher may have nicked parts of someone else's song and incorporated them into his own?
I would not say that at all. But talent borrows, genius steals, Phil, as we well know. I'm going to go and find the track because I messaged it to you, didn't I?
Find it. No, I think I've thought that you might have checked out the Verve catalogue because of your mate Noel Gallagher. Didn't he dedicate one of the songs to the genius of Richard
Cast
Ashcroft?
No Shadow.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, Cast No Shadow to the genius of Richard Ashcroft, yeah.
So I thought that might have prompted you to go back and explore the genius of Richard Ashcroft, but it didn't quite do that until this week.
Yeah. And I've got to admit, this album, I won't say it blew me away, and I am still scrolling for this. God almighty, we don't half talk a lot during the week, don't we, Philster?
Yeah, you sent me that track, and you said that it reminded you of Fading Out.
It did, yeah.
Can't quite see it myself, but I may be listening to it properly, because I did only just sort of play it again on my phone to remind myself of it, but I can't say it was screaming being similar to the Oasis track. But
what day did I send it to you on?
Oh, I don't know. I'd guess Wednesday, but that may be completely wrong. It may have been Monday or Tuesday.
It's either Monday or Tuesday. I know I sent you because didn't I send? Oh yeah, there's your playlist for me going to Wembley. Let's have a look. There's definitely a track on there. I did enjoy the playlist. Yes, I did enjoy the little interludes and that as well with the Coventry City fans singing. I just no. Oh no, that's what you wrote to me. I can't find it. Oh, the Sun and the Sea. That's it. The Sun and the Sea. That track, very very similar. They could almost be cousins who find cousins who find themselves attractive.
Now, while we're on the subject of Oasis, I'm going to take us completely off track from 1993. I'm going to temporarily take you to 1995, okay?
Whoa, we're going forward in time.
Yeah. Now,
got you DeLorean.
This is just a very brief thing. Did I save this? I thought I was going to save this. Oh no, hang on.
Once again, our preparedness comes to the fore.
I thought I'd had this right. On Twitter, I still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
But I'm that old. Okay.
Yeah.
Couple of my colleagues will remain nameless. Put forward the idea that What's the Story, Morning Glory should have had different tracks on it, right? Now, this started with one of them posting the cover of Come On Feel the Noise and saying it was a great choice of cover for Oasis to do because they're Slade influenced.
The B-side on Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah, which we can all agree with that. It was a good cover, okay? And then he said that he was as keen on the Morning Glory album, and the thing that had put him off it was Roll With It coming out as a single because he thought it wasn't as good as their first album, which again is a fair comment. I think that I don't think Roll With It is as good as any of the tracks on the first album. Would you agree with that?
No, and Noel Gallagher will actually say that as well. He would
agree. Yeah. He would agree. If you told him it was like sort of status quo or something, he'd concede that. But then one of them went on to say that he only kind of half liked What's the Story, Morning Glory. Okay. So I said, okay, now I'm going to have to know what your track list would be, because you're saying that some of the B-sides should have been on the album and half of it you toss off. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
So he was going to put in there the master plan. Well, you can understand wanting to put that in there because it is great. Okay.
Yeah, but would you have the master plan if you got Champagne Supernova?
Well, this is another question.
Yeah.
Round R1, he's saying should be on there. He's saying saying Acquiesce should be on there.
But would they have broken up the flow of the album? Because
this
if you think
is my argument.
The album's got a nice flow to it.
Well, that's what I think. You see, what he's saying is, I said, I think it's probably fair to say that maybe they should have put Acquiesce on the album instead of Roll With It, because.
Or would you have Acquiesce with that intro instead of Hello?
Well, maybe, but you could still start with Hello, and you could still have that What's the Story Morning Glory bit, and then go into Acquiesce. It could be okay. It could work.
Is
okay.
Acquiesce too similar to the title track, though? Because Morning Glory is that kind of... Because you had things like Head Shrinker and that around that time as well, didn't they? And they were all sort of the same vein.
Well, I can see Acquiesce being... it's an outstanding track. I can see the argument for that being there.
It is, yeah.
Then he's saying
it's better than being a B-side.
Yeah, then he's saying Rocking Chair and Talk Tonight. Okay. So he wants to put those on.
I mean, Rocking Chair, I love Rocking Chair, and I know it divides people, that song, but I think Liam's vocal on that is sublime.
Now, is it James Hargreaves that doesn't like Rocking Chair? Is that the one? That's the big Oasis fan who doesn't like Rocking Chair.
I love Rocking Chair. I really like the song Rocking Chair.
Yeah, I think James Hargreaves doesn't like the key or the chords or something about it. There's something he doesn't like about it from a musicianly viewpoint. But anyway, I think it's good. And I can't deny these are all good tracks, but what he wants to lose, Roll With It, okay?
Yeah, I can.
All the swamps, all right?
Yeah, I can.
She's electric.
Keep one of them.
She's electric. Wants to remove shit, and this proved controversial in the replies he got because he also wanted to take off Hey Now.
Get lost. Yeah, where does he live? I'm going to go round to his house and hold a cushion over his head.
He's in Scotland, so he's got a bit of a journey. And wear
a skirt.
He'd shave a few minutes off Champagne Supernova because
it's not... What? Who is this?
He'd shave a couple of minutes off Champagne Supernova because it's not quite the epic it thinks it is. Okay? And so, but
then in the video you wouldn't have that bit at the end where it fades out and Liam's writing the words help in dominoes.
You see, some are saying that Champagne Supernova could have been 5 minutes and it would have still been fine. Well, maybe. If it had come out in 5 minutes, I suppose we wouldn't have complained, would we? But we wouldn't have said, it needs to go on longer. So maybe they're right about that. But
the thing with Morning Glory is when you listen to it, it flows well. There's not a track where you go, why is that? What's that track doing there?
This is my argument, and at least two people chipped in to say one said Hey Now was their favourite on the album, and someone else says...
Well, we discussed it the other week, didn't we?
Yeah, it's also partly due to it not being overplayed. So anyway, I don't have a problem with the Swamp Song bits because I think they also add something to it as well. They add a bit to the rocking, the rockingness and the pace.
Yeah, you could maybe lose the one before Champagne Supernova, maybe, but then. What track are you going to shoe? You couldn't put the master plan there, and you couldn't put the master plan in the middle of the album. So
I can't see the point of having the Swamp Song bit only once. I like the idea it appears in the middle of the album, and towards the end it comes back again. But it's a different segment, but it comes back. I don't see the point in having it twice. I don't see the point in having it at all. Well, I don't have a problem with how they put that there. I think it's fine, but. Okay, you could save a minute or two off the album, but I don't think it's going to really save much, is it? So I don't see the point of taking it off. No. But I can certainly see the argument for Acquiesce being on there. I would have thought that an acoustic song would have slowed the album down too much, which is why I'm against
Talk Tonight. You would have done,
Talk Tonight being on there. And, some people are saying Round Our Way instead of She's Electric. Well, you could argue that, yes, it's a better song. But then there's no bun in the oven on the album.
There is no bun in the oven. Plus, I think Round Our Way, after Hey Now. Is it Hey Now and then She's No, it's Hey Now then Cast No Shadow, isn't it?
Well, Hey Now
So
ends the first. Well, Hey Now ends the first side. You've got Some Might Say, haven't you?
yeah. Oh yes, yeah. So
So
would you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would lose because I like the tempo of She's Electric. But anyway,
yeah,
this is
and
nothing to do with 1993, and whoever these
no,
people you're in a group with need take a
She's
long hard look at
Electric.
themselves in a mirror.
That's the thing. She round a bit more full on, isn't it? Where She's Electric's a little bit of a lighter feel to it, so it kind of adds a bit of
Yeah, yeah,
diversity.
yeah.
It's a
It's
sing
the
along,
Digsy's dinner, isn't it?
and it's a party sing along.
Yes.
So you've got to
Yeah,
kind of have
yeah,
one of those on
yeah.
the album.
And it
haven't you?
made kids go out and buy. Make kids
it's
go
the
and listen to With a Little Help from My Friends, didn't it?
it's the Yellow Submarine or the Octopus's Garden of the album. So it kind of
yeah.
have to have it. So there we are. That's just a complete random dissection of what's the story. Morning Glory. That was the story, folks.
Yeah. All right, back to 1993.
Back to 93. What else have we not listened to? How many days have we got left of April? We've still got a few days.
Next week. No, yeah, we've got a few days. We've got a few. I mean, I think I know my top 3 already that I'm going to put through. But I also listened and I re-listened to it, and I didn't need to re-listen to it, but I listened to it because I wanted to, and that is Bjork's debut album, which is a beautiful album. And like I think we discussed in one of the earlier shows, it was kind of odd having an artist who wasn't American or British in the charts, or Jean-Michel Jarre with his ponciness.
So you think that?
Yeah, I love.
I don't know what I'm going to go for. You know,
what for 93?
Yeah, 93. I'm a few that could get in there for me.
Well, I think I've got my 3.
This is very.
But you've still got a few more days, Phil. So you've got. I mean, I know we break into May next weekend, but next weekend when we record, we've got to come up with our 3 and then discuss 1994.
94. That's even more difficult.
Believe it or not, Philster, don't tell anybody this, but I've already chosen an album from 1994 to go into my top 3.
Yeah, I might. That might be an easier year for me to do it, but it's a really difficult one. You know, this is a really
what 93.
Yeah.
I've just realised your name on my screen is Phileas Maximus.
That's what I put myself in as today. Well, you keep changing all those ridiculous things. You actually called Ben on this.
What was it like? Hank Bonesack. That's a good one of mine. But yeah, no, if you haven't checked out anybody out there who maybe listened to us dribbling on, Bjork's debut album is a very, very good album. And so is the Verve's album. Don't be like me. Don't put it off just because it's their early stuff. You know, it's all right, kids. Go out, watch films from the 80s. Just because you weren't into them or born doesn't mean they're not good. Go and check out albums that were before your time.
Yeah.
Maybe not Pablo Honey, but yeah, go check out the Verve. No, I've got to say, Bjork is bonkers, and the album's slightly bonkers. And it's a mixture of genres on there as well. It's sort of trip hoppy and housey and folky and everything else.
It still sounds good now. It does. It still sounds good.
It does. It doesn't sound dated. So that is all I've listened to for 1993. And you've listened to absolutely squat diddly, haven't you?
In the last week, I have.
You're not.
So, dear viewer, the question is, what albums of 93 do I need to listen to that I've at least...
Well, a lot, by the sounds of it, Phil.
Give me one that at least has a chance of being in my top 3. You know, don't necessarily...
I'm thinking that only one of us has taken 1993 seriously.
I wouldn't, you know, for me personally, you know, it's probably not going to be Tupac strictly for my Something We Can't Say. Yeah, that's not going to be on there.
Odd album title.
Yeah, it's probably not going to
You
be
might
that.
like it. The chord structure and the
Maybe. And it's probably not going to be Salt and Pepper's Very Necessary. Just looking at this list.
no. Well,
And
PM Dawn's next on my list to listen to.
I can't
Is it the
believe
Bliss
that
album?
I can't believe that I would want to listen to the whole album of Cypress Hill, because although I can kind of enjoy Insane in the Brain for 3 minutes, I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I think I saved more of that for a whole album. So let's be realistic, folks. But give me some albums that I should be listening to as I
PM
rush to the
Dawn.
finish.
I'm going to listen to
The
that one.
finish line. The finish line of 1993, which is. With that, we're going to go and make another video immediately, and maybe it will be even more interesting than this one. Thank you for watching. I'm Phil.
I doubt it. And I'm Ben.